Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I will be going through some of the Dana White announcements that happened early hours of this morning for UFC 313. But anyway, before I get into the video, make sure you hit the like button, share button and subscribe button for more great content with myself, Callum, Jamie as well, plus more. But let's get down to business. So, of course, UFC 313, we had the unfortunate news that Dan Hooker looked like he fractured his hand, as he did a video with his daughter on X saying that he had to pull out the fight, which is an absolute bummer because I think that was the fight that everyone was looking forward to, bar the main event. It was a 5-round co-main event. Justin Gaethje, Dan Hooker, guaranteed violence, and we were all a bit bummed out when that news happened, and we're all looking around, we're thinking, shit, who are they gonna get to really, still be a quality fight? And on the Combat Catch Up, literally a couple of days ago, we were looking through the names, and the names were quite limited because towards the top of the ranking, everyone's booked, right? So you look like that Armand Charles, that fight will probably be announced soon. Obviously, you got Paddy versus Chandler, and then you're looking at other fighters, and you're thinking, oh, does this really make sense? And then you look at the 313 card, and you look, oh look, old Jalen Turner's on the card. Do you bump him up, give him the shot against Gaethje? I called it early. I called it early. I went, they'll run back Rafael Fiziev and Justin Gaethje, and lo and behold, that's what they've done. Had to run it back. Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev is the new UFC 313 co-main event. 3-rounder, which is a bit of a bummer. We're running it back from 2013. Excuse me. We're running it back on UFC 313. The rematch from UFC London, not the London card that's just happened, the one before that when Tom Aspinall. Who did Tom Aspinall? I think Tom Aspinall's return fight after his injury. So yeah, it is a good fight, massive opportunity. I have to say this, right? A massive opportunity for Rafael Fiziev because Justin Gaethje is number 3 in the rankings, right? Fiziev is 11. You can imagine if Fiziev wins, you shoot up the rankings, you push yourself into title talk conversation, or at least number 1 contendership conversations, because we're sort of hitting a situation at 155 pounds where, because of the Arman Sarukian injury, sort of we're hitting a bit of a bottleneck at the moment, because it looks like that we're going to get Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. We've got a fight booked. We're getting loads of fights booked for 155 pounds, but there is a bit of a bottleneck about who's going to be the next guy after Ilya and stuff like that. And if Fiziev wins, then you're adding another name into that mix. However, if Gaethje wins, that's an interesting one, because what do? Do you wait until Dan Hooker's back, which he said he could be back for International Fight Week? Do we wait and rebook that matchup with them again? But it'd be very interesting. But Justin Gaethje also, shared his clarification when Armand and Charles understandably said no. Max and Dustin understandably said no. Moicano got the call and said no, which is understandable before people in the comments go, Moicano's a pussy, didn't want to fight. He's literally just come off of a fight with Islam a few weeks ago. Probably wants to take a bit of time to recover. Props to Fiziev for volunteering to fly across the world to take this fight. Big risk for taking this matchup. Big risk for me here, taking this matchup against an elite striker. Life's a trip. Best live show on earth going down March 8th. Hashtag UFC 313. And look, like the first fight, I think what I can remember from the first fight, I do feel like Fiziev was sort of like a bit of like rabbit in the headlights moment. It's like, shit, this is your big opportunity. And I felt like he didn't really put his best foot forward. And This is Fiziev's first fight since he did his ACL against Gamrot back in the Apex last year. So this is a massive opportunity. Okay, would you have picked this fight to be your return fight if you were a Fiziev? Probably no. You probably want to take a different opponent. But hey, you only get one career. You make the most of the opportunities you get, and then go through some of these comments. You know, people thought that the UFC don't want to pay, pay the money, and then Justin's like, you're acting like they're too scared to fight. They're likely all too heavy. And then they said, why did Arman say no? It's a big weight cut on the short notice. And Arman Sarukian did tweet out on, I think there was a report saying that Armand offered to do a catch-weight bout at 160 pounds, but the UFC declined. I think the reason why they probably declined that is because we're probably going to get the Charles rematch. So, why, why would you want to throw your name in the hat here? Because I think, and not gonna lie, I think after the stunt, well, not the stunt, I think after the injury situation with, with Sarukian, I think he's in a bit of hot water with the UFC. But hey ho, but hey, also added on to the fight, he called it. He called it after his knockout win this past weekend. Gene Silva, the KO machine, wanting to fight Bryce Mitchell at. You want to fight Bryce Mitchell? Ask and you shall receive. Another fight added on for UFC 314 in Miami, April 12th. So that's another banger added to the card already. Great opportunity for Gene Silva to break into that top 15. Obviously, this would be Bryce Mitchell's first fight back since those controversial comments on his podcasts. He also pulled out of a grappling match at 180 pounds with a Israeli fighter. Don't know can't remember what his name was. So he pulled out of that because he had UFC fight news come up, and lo and behold, the fight news comes up. It's Mitchell versus Silva, UFC 314, on that in Miami. Also in other news as well, Jamal Hill will be hopping back into the octagon against Khalil Rountree Jr. I think they are headlining a fight night event. They are headlining in UFC Kansas City, April 26th, live on TNT and Discovery Plus. Absolute, a banger. Obviously, both of these gentlemen are coming off of losses. A KO loss from Rountree against Pereira for the belt, and obviously perhaps could knocked out Jamal Hill. Obviously, in this situation, to go like, oh, is Jamal jumping back in a little bit too early? But when you look at this, Jamal's been out of the octagon for quite a while because of the injury. Came back, lost against Pereira. I think he may have got re-injured again or had some issues, so he's had to wait again before getting the fight. But hey, this is an absolute striker stream. Headlines UFC Kansas City. Obviously, when there's more fight news that breaks for that card, obviously we'll be covering it here on the channel as well. Look at that, Jamal Hill versus Khalil Rountree Jr. April 26th, UFC Kansas City. And hopefully that there's going to be more UFC events that aren't pay-per-views happening outside the Apex, because they need to happen. It needs to happen. You've got a big roster, quality matchups. Let's give the fans what they want and what the fans deserve, really, and give them the fights in a packed out crowd as well. But I think we're gonna wrap it up there for this for today's video. Let me know, guys, what you guys think of these shorter style videos. Obviously, it's not the usual lives. It's not the previews towards the pay-per-view events that I do with Callum and Jamie. I'm trying to switch things up a little, trying to make the content better for you. Just let me know what you like what you think going forward, because I'm gonna try and do more videos like this. Um, the box. I've got asked about some boxing videos. I'll do some more boxing videos as well. Obviously, still going to get the previews. Hopefully, I'm going to start doing some reviews after the UFC numbers events, providing that I'm still awake when I do the events. And obviously, going to try and restart my Tanner Talks podcast with hopefully getting some fighters and some well-known people in the combat arena onto the channel as well in the future. But let me know what you guys think. Obviously, make sure to smash the like button for more great content. Next video, I will probably have another video out this soon. What it will be about, it may be discussing about how the UFC are really misusing Jose Aldo Jr. because he's been confirmed for UFC 315 against Mario Batista, and we're going to discuss why I believe he's being disrespected by the UFC. But make sure you keep a tune out for that. But everyone that's watched the video, make sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Comment in the comment section below what you'd like to see on the channel. Any tips as well will be very much appreciated. But until the next time, I will see you soon.